27th to Portsmouth Police Station Building Committee meeting. Now, first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The review of the meeting democratic rules of order for anybody who hasn't heard them before. For the efficient management of business, you know what? Make sure that is that started? I'm not sure we should start. Okay, so just for the record, 6:34 p.m. The meeting was open. We did the call for order, obviously, the pledge of allegiance. Now to review the meeting democratic rules of order. For the efficient management of business, this board will adhere to the following procedure. The purpose: this committee is charged to evaluate and report back to the town council regarding the location, design, and building of a new police station that meets the needs of the Portsmouth Police Department and will serve the residents of the town of Portsmouth. The station shall be constructed in order to provide a safe, efficient, and cost-effective building that will consider both the current and future needs of the town of Portsmouth. This meeting will be conducted based on the Democratic Rules of Order 9th edition. This meeting will require a quorum of 4 regular members to commence. This meeting will follow the agenda posted on the Secretary of State website. This board will accept and welcome public comment only at the appropriate time. All comments and questions by any member of the public must be directed to the chair. There will be no discussion or crosstalk in the audience. Any member of the public who wishes to speak must sign in to be recognized in order when the comments are open. Any organized group shall choose a spokesperson to assure your comments are clear, on point, and duly recorded. No member of the public may speak on the same subject more than once until all members of the public have had the opportunity to speak. Members of the public will be allowed a reasonable time to speak. All comments and questions must be on topic and relative to the matter at hand. At no time will any unruly or threatening comments be tolerated. After all signed members of the public have spoken, the chair will recognize any other member of the public who wishes to speak. At the final meeting, the board will draft a document with our findings and the supporting facts directed to the town council. In the event the board does not unanimously agree on a single option, then a simple vote will be taken to show how many members support each option. At the final meeting, the document of findings will be prepared after the final public comment section. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Corey Brady. Here. Anthony Renzi. Here. Chief Bill Seal. Here. Richard Barrett. Here. Joe Walsh.
President.
John Mostivo. Here. Tom Walton. Here. Solicitor Della.
Always there. And you know what? I did about 2 minutes. I knew you weren't going. Nice. All right. So meeting minutes have been prepared and presented to you. Has everybody had a chance to review them?
Make a motion to adopt the minutes of the June 16th.
All in favor? Aye. Super. Correspondence and communications, we have none. We'll move into new business. First would be the update on the Situate Town Council from John Restivo.
So we did have a joint meeting, the Gloucester Town Council and the Situate Town Council, where we discussed the possibility of having a sharing expenses of facilities, something for the police station. We didn't get too in depth. What they informed us is that they're receiving an RFP back. They may have already received it by now for a consultant to explore the possibility. They had an open mind. They weren't committed to it. They were not committed to it. They were just waiting to see once the consultant finished the review whether they were actually, basically whether it was actually worth it, what their different options are in different police station. So I think it's a practical matter in terms of this board's responsibilities. If that report comes back before we do our recommendation to the town council, we would consider that as part of our recommendation. But if it hasn't come back at that time, it will really be up to the council as to whether they want to be just that report comes back. But I don't think it's necessary for us to do any work on top of the report that they're getting. Because it does seem like we're fairly comprehensive about this.
Did they put any kind of time frame on construction, or is that not until after?
Well, they did, I don't know if they said it at the meeting, but they did say that they do need a new police station. That's the reason why they're commissioning this report. And the impression I got was that the report was looking at all the different options, not just the idea of a joint station. They did say that the RFP was going to, if it hasn't been received back yet, it will be received back in a week now. But they didn't do a specific timeline in terms of the turnaround for when they expect to get the report. And then construction after that, there was nothing specific. They do need a police station.
Further questions on that? Next order of business was Gordy had, with assistance, drawn a detailed sketch, I would say, of what a potential police station could look like, a little different than Hopkinton. I believe that he made the building a little bit smaller footprint. Do we have a square footage right here?
No, we don't. It's right around 6,000.
Okay.
We took 340 square feet, about 5,600 to the Sally
Okay. So at our last meeting, when we were reviewing the Hopkinton plan, there was a belief that we could move some things into the basement, server rooms, that kind of thing, that did not require handicap access. And it was also the belief that the design of the building might not exactly fit with the town of Portsmouth historically. So Gordy had taken it upon himself to take his time to draw up a little plan for us that we believe would meet the needs of the police station and also fit with the architectural design that would be welcomed by the town. So as the chief had a chance to review,
Yeah, actually,
fits the
we
building.
had this morning, we were on a bunch of ideas, already did a lot of work on it. Already did a lot of work on it himself, and utilizing Hopkins plans, looking at this, moving it around, eliminating several of the offices, moving some stuff downstairs, some stuff that was drawing, maybe located in the basement, a mechanical room, an armory, evidence processing, evidence, and the stuff located in the basement. Also looking at considerable space for EMA, an EMA office, EMA storage downstairs in the basement also. As far as
pretty much what I did was I took Hopkins' plan, which seems to work very nice, used the same layout, we worked around, everything worked around the dispatch center, they had two corridors that were very useful with the layout. I thought a little too big, they had a lot of wasted space. We configured where the offices were. If you look at it, the booking in the jail cells are exactly the same size, the locker rooms are exactly the same size, dispatch in the lobby is exactly the same size. Downsize the patrol room a little bit because even though what this was too big, they're big at top. Kitchen's the same size, pretty much all the rooms left on this plan are the same size. I feel them a little bigger actually. And I was able to cut down the square footage, which allowed us to do called a roof system, that same style building that works for us.
Right.
Now, I just 10 minutes sketch out those roof systems. That's an idea of what we could do. It's a big area. This building's got between the basement, putting a basement under it, plus building the roofs like this, we got a lot of space, a lot of free space. The attic is going to be there regardless. The basement, I think, is going to make a lot of free room. And also, it'll make it easier in the future to be able to move things around, utilities.
Who's that walk out?
But we got to maintain some kind of walkout so we can stay away from, if we put a foundation, we got to have some kind of walkout, so much of the basement exposed so we can stay away from sprinkling.
They want access for EMS anyway.
Right, if we want a basement, which I think is a good idea for this building, then we have to somehow expose bodies instead of expose. And yes, if we have a walk-in basement, we have room for EMA, we have storage, plus we have a lot.
In the future expansion, something that you do want to use.
I just suggest
Another 5,000 square feet.
Right.
that could possibly save us money now during construction.
Oh, you definitely some money for that stuff, there's no doubt.
I think that's a win-win all around.
Yeah. And the basement saves on all mechanical things.
And the roof system, you're going to get the attic. It's not going to be that. It's not like we're spending money to build this attic. Again, we may be able to reconfigure the way the building looks as far as the roof's got like. I tossed it around for a week and stuff, and it's sketched it out.
Talking about on vacation.
I looked at a lot of buildings.
Okay, thank you. That's good doing that. I appreciate it. All right, so we have, at this point, we have a rough plan, which is smaller footprint than everything else we've looked at so far. The only thing that immediately sticks out that doesn't exist would be a connection to the town hall.
Right.
For future.
Doing a little bit of sketching. It's going to be pretty hard to add this building to that building without making this stress.
Right.
It can be done. We could probably make some kind of connection. That's a decision for you.
What would be the advantage?
The only advantage would be for joint community room,
Yeah.
I think, unless somebody sees something else.
And that joint community room is going to cost more than this building is.
Right.
It's going to add to the cost.
Right. And you could eliminate the connector altogether and put a community room on it if you had, right?
Originally, I was thinking we were going to save money by adding on to the more, but it's working in Berlin. I don't think we are. Could be wrong.
Well, it probably makes sense to start with the building that we should look at first, and then we can, the town can address the actual placement of this building for future use and connecting, that can be decided by others.
If you need to.
If they need, as I'm saying, if that's the vision, then regardless of what the price is, whether the building's here or here, it doesn't matter. So somebody can decide whether it's, whether they want to connect or not. All right, so at this point, we could probably get some budgetary numbers on that sketch. That's something that you could handle.
Yeah, I can absolutely get that. I think it'll be the same. I think it'll be
First per foot,
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we'll have.
I mean, it's basically the same floor plan as what we worked anyway. So it's going to have, it's going to
similar systems, so the roof is a little taller than the walls, but I mean, it's similar systems, so, yeah.
I'm not so sure that was not an inexpensive roof to build.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure they were adding a lot of cost.
Okay. Why don't we see if we can just run it by him?
Yeah.
And see what he says, so, that was a pretty good idea.
Did he get back to you as to?
It was 350 or 400, is what he came out with. So I think that's what we'll see again. So I'll have to run by.
That number at 350 to 400, who's giving you that number? Okay, that's an idea, that's a guess, but I mean, shouldn't this thing be a real set of plans, pay for all the money that we have on this idea, and gave this to whoever?
Right.
And we need a real set of plans like this, and then doesn't that go out to bid, and now we have contractors coming in here who can say, maybe I can do that for $200 a square foot?
Right, and that's definitely the next step. So I think the first thing that we try to do, only because time is getting so short, what you're talking about is exactly where it's going to go, but that's gonna take some time. So the question is, do the town council want to have kind of some idea where they're gonna be? I would like to be able to, by our August deadline, which unfortunately is very close to the front of it, I think that we want to at least have that going, then we can get official plans drawn, we have the money to do that, and we get official quotes to this matter. I think at that time, maybe,
Well, we know we're in that $400 range. Why are we sending it back to get, why are we sending it back to get?
okay.
I think we'll get the same number.
If you believe we're gonna be there, I'm good with that.
Well, and you have to keep in mind too, it's sort of a level of effort, like what you were getting at, you know, once you develop the drawings of the program, once you actually get some systems in there, because you can't work by the price of it, until you get there, it's probably the best we can get.
Yeah, until you have an official plan, we're not gonna be able to get an accurate price.
We need to get bids on it. We're gonna get their architects.
Right.
And then we're gonna grow. So,
Exactly.
we don't have much time to do this.
Well, the only thing we're going to be able to give the town council, which they're all here tonight, okay, is that $400 number that you're coming up with, that sticker shock. I mean, I'm looking at, 6,000 square foot building, everybody's already done the math in this room, and they're looking at $2.5 million, which falls into a multi-million-dollar words we're hearing up there, but I don't know if that's the right number unless I've had 4 or 5 builders say to me, I can do that for, you've got a bunch of, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand this $400
If this,
per square
if
foot.
this was a residential house,
Yeah,
you get 4 or 5 builders to get their price on this.
okay, why is it any different?
Because it's government funds.
The drawings and the plans.
The drawings are going to be much more extensive. The construction is going to be much more extensive. Just the foundation alone is going to be much more extensive than if we were doing the house.
It's different code.
I mean, we're not gonna have, you're gonna put different foundations in this than I have in my house?
Yes.
Yes, and you're gonna have supporting systems to support jail cells. If your jail cells are gonna be made out of some kind of block, then there will be supporting systems down below that, so there's gonna be a lot of things that we wouldn't have.
I get the whole cells, dispatch area, bulletproof and stuff like that is gonna jack up the price. I get that. To me, I'm looking at 4 walls, what is that, all pitch roof? Whatever that is. 9 pitch roof, with whatever shingles we want, whatever, we're gonna stick build this thing, aren't we? It's not gonna be out of block or something like that, is it? It's gonna be,
Is there a recommendation on that for, I mean, I don't,
I want this more than anybody, but I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I will tell you right offhand, that the building codes are different. You use the IRC for residential construction, and you use the IDC for residential construction. It's also got high risk buildings, so you're actually kicked out in all the design codes. So you're designed to have your roof, higher risk, so you're higher roof. So you are. That's just the way it's written.
Okay,
So there are legitimate, just code wise.
So for 2x4s, it's 2x6s and so forth.
You do 2x6 regardless.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's where we're going with that, right?
Yeah.
it could be still steel's gonna build it. I mean, everyone I've done has been blocked, I don't think they have to be, right, but do they?
I don't think there's any code requirements to be this law.
No, it's going to be.
At least they do, that's what you're right, right?
Well, that's just it. I'm gonna
It's
get
three.
it drawn. I'd like to work with the architect we choose, try to get it down to that $300 range, 'cause I think, I don't think we need to go crazy like we're building for the federal government. We're building for the town force. I need to build it the same way that town halls. That was a very good reason. That building is still cheap, not inexpensively because we built it.
How did we do that? What was the reason?
The architect worked with us, we hired a local builder that.
Well, that's what I'm getting
We
at.
worked the price down, you still had to get the architect to work with it. We would say, hey, we don't need studs 12 inches on the side, this is a 4 knots. We went to 16 knots. And I think we got that, I don't want to pay $400 a square foot, but we need.
Exactly, so my point is, we really need to get some real plans, a real architect, and then local guys that, you know, it's gonna go out to bid, and
So the next step would then be to have a motion to make a request for proposals for 3 architects, shoot for 5 and get 3. Maybe?
I think I called, when we did one very quickly, I think I called 5 and we got 3 responses.
And then it's a, yeah, I guess we can request for the proposals and then whether it'll be, I guess it'll be for the board to review that too, because we have to do it in a meeting or something. And even after that, it's gonna take some time.
Get it done, get it done.
Yeah, well,
I want to get it done right.
Yeah, you'll go, yeah, I mean, at this point, the best we're gonna be able to present to the town council by that August meeting is gonna be budgetary. I don't think we'll ever get the rest of it done. Plans drawn, plans quoted,
That is business.
never in a million.
Yeah, no, I don't know that we, I don't know that that's a good use of money at this point, where we are. You know, I think we just give a recommendation, let the town council decide if that's exactly what we're pursuing. You know, if we give them a range, I think that's fair. I can talk to, ask about the contract. I don't think anyone's gonna give us anything.
you know, so you're absolutely right. Okay, you're just gonna have to, you're absolutely right, the town council's gonna have to decide, right? I think you guys are gonna have to figure out, only give you some sort of number.
Yeah, but I think that, your point
I think
here,
it'll be lower.
you know, if the committee's looking for guidance, because if we wait until August to submit a recommendation, and then the council then starts an RFP process, and then that could have started now or within the next
Months.
couple of weeks, then, right, we're just delaying the process. So we could ask the council for guidance, if they'd rather us be going out for an RFP now based on, I mean, if you look at the criteria for safe, efficient, cost-effective building, putting aside the question of Situate, since they're pursuing that, and we're going to be able to take advantage of their work product, we know that there's nothing cost-effective about joining on to the existing alcohol, there's nothing cost-effective about renovating the existing building. If there's another site in town where we can put it, that's an easy cost, because it's just the cost of it. So it seems like really the only option that we're considering is a standalone building. And in light of that, there doesn't seem to me to be much of a rationale in not continuing to pursue that, even if we don't think that we can get some contractors in before that, at least doing an RFP to engage an architect, maybe on an hourly rate or something like that, so that we can continue to move the project forward. In the meantime, again, even if we're not sure we're going to have a final work product by that date, we might be able to at least get enough information to say we need a couple more weeks, or at least when we transition to the council, we're going to be able to continue.
And the pitch probably would be at the town council anyway, and publicly, that's gonna be posted and all that.
By that point, it'll be there anyway. But the thing is if there's ultimately a goal to have this on some kind of referendum or something in November, you better be started now. Because it's just, the time frame is just not gonna work. So I think that's I don't think getting a request for proposal, we're not gonna have anything more than this to start with. We've already got that. So why wouldn't we at least get it to that point now? And then, you're only gonna request for proposal, but you're not hiring, going to spend time.
Just get an architect, find an architect, this is the right way.
Yeah. Even if the only thing we have to present to the town council is we solicited proposals, we have 3 in, here are the rates, it's, and even that's what, we don't know what the time rates would be, so. And it's sure you make that for them to give a proposal, the less activity you're gonna have, for sure.
The architects that you're supposed to, that were interested, I'm sure you put somebody that, if they want to be interested in them, they can, give us a price, we have money that was allocated for what we're going to do, so that, okay, we don't have to worry about that.
We limited it to 5,000, over 5,000 asphalt and public bid, as we advertise, only.
And again, if we're gonna do it right, we can't ask for favors.
No, we wouldn't be. The people that we dealt with already, they would be invited to public bid just like anybody else. So they would have, maybe,
The town council put $30,000 away just to get to that point.
Exactly.
So if it comes in over 5,000, then obviously we shouldn't have to put it out to bid anyway, let the 5 guys give us a number.
Right.
And when they come in over 5,000, then they can put forward bid. We need to get we need to get architects right now.
Absolutely, and you're going to be over 5,000 for detailed construction. So there's no doubt about that. So I think that I would certainly, we certainly can go in that direction. I think it's a right move. Pardon?
That's what we're asked to do.
Well, exactly. So, we certainly entertain motion if somebody wants to make one.
We want to make a motion to issue an RFP to hire an architect.
My second motion.
And,
Not on the agenda.
what is that?
I don't see going out for an RFP and making a motions on the agenda.
It doesn't have to be on the agenda.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay, good to know.
Why would it?
We have a solicitor here that can answer that.
Okay.
It has to be part of one of your new business sections.
Right, which I thought was a review of what is planned.
Update on the sketch leads you to the next step, is that it?
That was my belief.
Is that where you're
I
going?
mean,
Action on it.
Yes, discussion action, and that's what we discussed.
The next, he updated you, and action on that next step is this.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, other than that, we just, that's planned. Looks pretty good.
So just so I'm clear, update on Gordy Brayton's sketch is going out for an RFP vote for spending money and getting it designed. Okay, I just want to be clear
Yeah,
that
we're
we're
not spending
clear.
any money, that's right. All we're doing is getting an RFP.
I'm discussing about what is posted on the agenda and your action on that.
Sure.
So I just want to be clear on that.
Right, your complaint will say it wasn't on the agenda. We'll, 3 months, we'll answer the complaint that says, well, what's 3 months from now? We'll be into September, October, until this gets answered. And I will answer that it's the next step from that. Action on his update on the sketch leads to the next step of getting more detail.
Now, do we
It's
want-
going out to bid, I don't see an objection to it, it's putting it out,
Are we-
an
are
RFP.
we- Do we want to narrow the RFP to working on the sketch?
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. There isn't nothing else we can do involved.
Yeah.
So,
So do you want to just draft the RFP and put that on the next agenda, and it will be reviewed?
could certainly
Make
do
sure
it if
everything
you
is
think
there.
that's the better way.
If someone wants to stop the RFP from going out, then they can come to the next meeting and do it.
Yeah, and at that point, just wait for that.
Let me be clear, I'm not trying to stop anything. I've just been held to agendas, and I'm only trying to do exactly how I'm being held to. Jumping from a sketch to a motion that I just saw started going out for an RFP to design plans. Usually you will see RFP for plans on the agenda. You know, that would be specifically stated as part of the agenda.
Well,
Because if it's not the case, then we can just loop all around. and I want to, like, under section D, general board discussion on project, discussion action. You could say you could go out for an RFP, just the way that's listed. Because it's completely open-ended.
So the RFP is to get a quotation or bid for a proposal.
I have no
It's
problem.
not to spend any money. At that point, now the town council has allocated $30,000 to do this.
I understand what an RFP is.
So, no, I understand, I'm not questioning what you do. What I'm saying is, we're not making a motion to spend $30,000, I'm not making a motion for any of that.
No, you're making a motion to go out for an RFP, which is
Right.
not on the agenda.
Right. Well, it's the action on the item, so.
Okay.
That's kind of the way every meeting I've run for years and years and years, that would be the next step on the action.
Doesn't mean it was right.
It sounds like this is something that would reappear on the next agenda
Right.
anyway as a new RFP. We would-
Well, at that point, we would, I don't think we're gonna have anything done by in 2 weeks anyway. So something's gonna come back on the agenda, and it's probably gonna say, we're gonna review what we already reviewed.
Gonna review the RFP at the next one. So the next,
All right, so we have the
save
RFP
myself.
prepared, and then 2 weeks from now, we'll review it.
Okay.
And specifically itemize it on the agenda.
Sure. So it won't go out, it'll just be
It'll
drafted,
be drafted by.
follow up from his sketch,
Mhm.
and it will end up on the next agenda.
And then we'll go 2 weeks after that.
It's gonna take me 4 months to answer the complaint, so.
I'm not saying I'm gonna file a complaint, I'm just bringing it attention that I've been bringing for 15 or 20 years. When I see something arise on agenda where a board or a commission or council is going without it being listed, it's been done to me and I'm bringing it to them. It's
Sure,
simply
okay.
a point of
So I'll
interest.
keep it to the chairman, or we can stop it to try to advertise the very motion on the next agenda, wait another few weeks, and then.
We have to wait 2 weeks.
For, we have another meeting, as long as it's doing the advertising 48 hours, we have another meeting in 2 days. One, two. Well, we kind of already violated the public comment section, so let's do this.
Yes, I think the financial town meeting has already approved you to go out to bid. When we go out to bid for council things, for example, they approved $180,000 for paving. We don't need to bring that to the council table for an affirmative vote to go out to bid for the paving, it was already approved by
So
the
my
financial
argument.
town meeting. The financial town meeting has approved $30,000 for this board to go out to bid.
Correct.
You don't need a motion, you don't need a vote, you just need to draft it and advertise it. That's all you need. We don't
It has
do
to be
with
on the
council.
agenda.
We'll ask the department chair, they write it, and they do it, it doesn't come to the town council for approval of an RFP. The financial town meeting approved this money for this purpose, it doesn't need a subsequent.
And I don't disagree with you. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I yield to
You
the
just don't
solicitor to
have-
make sure that she's not back in court to answer something that I believe it's already been authorized. So I don't think there's a need to do anything else. But the solicitor says,
John's correct, and usually it's the department head that does it. In this case, we don't have a department head to go off and write the RFP and run it by me and then just put it out.
Again, on a point of order, my argument wasn't whether it was authorized, it was the action this committee was taking tonight against your agenda. That's all my point is.
whereas it was already pre-authorized, I didn't think we needed to do anything else on the agenda than this. But again, if you believe I was wrong.
Why don't we, you could also withdraw the motion, and the chief could go ahead and draft an RFP and run it by me if he's the department head that's involved here, because we don't have another department head. And then put it on that next one or a new meeting to review. I still think you're gonna get a complaint about that, so.
Well, at least, if it's at least on the agenda, we've fixed that one. And then we'll wait for the next one.
I'll withdraw my motion.
All right? So we know the motion is withdrawn. So, I guess on the general board discussion, we'll discuss whether we want to have a meeting quicker than the next 2 weeks to address that again. But let's, for now, move on, unless there's any more discussion on that.
So why can't we move forward? Just make it It's really hurts, okay? We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and then we gotta put this on the town agenda that we're doing. I thought, at the time, like Mr. Lewis said, it's $30,000 given to this board, what we gotta do. We're taking it upon ourselves that we're gonna put it up to bid, so that's kind of a cool thing. We're not gobbling it up. Okay, so the sooner we do that, the sooner we know where we're going.
It has to be a public discussion on
Keep
how,
raising that paper, Gordon. I mean, what?
public discussion on how you're
Yeah.
gonna spend the 30.
I think the problem is when you craft an agenda for any meeting, the agenda will be 100 pages long to write all the possible scenarios. The idea is to discuss this. Maybe we sit down, everybody say, what do you think? This is awful. We're not going to do anything, and that's kind of the end of it.
That's what I thought.
In this case, we wouldn't say that because he did a good job. But in this case, we look at it, I mean, obviously the chief knows more than anybody in this table what he needs. We know the board he's been in the construction industry forever, so we know he's designed what he thought would be the most cost-effective. So at this point, our action would be to get RFPs. I personally think it's well within the agenda, but I'm not an attorney. So it seems to me that the solicitor believes there'll be a complaint either way, that she would have to defend anyway.
If there's a complaint either way, why don't we just go forward then?
Would that be the motion?
Certainly.
Okay.
We go off the RFP.
RFP to get quotations from architects on Gordy Brake's plan.
Yes.
Is there a second on that motion?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Now, we're fine.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is review of USDA rural development guidelines, which Chief Zeal has done some research on. You should have copies in front of you. There's small copies up here for anybody interested. And so maybe you could kind of
Yeah, this,
tell us what we need to know.
yeah, it came up, and again, I don't know who spoke on it, but it was at the joint Situate, Foster, and council meetings, and we spoke on it, and related that if a joint building was built between two communities, the federal government would pay 75%. They knew what they were talking about, but I went home, did research, and called the U.S. Department of Agriculture the next morning. It doesn't have anything to do with a joint anything. It's the same program that the town council, myself, Mr. Lewis, and the solicitor met with, Joanne Mars. We met with her again, myself, the DPW director, and the town planner. It's the same program. They do have opportunities available for grant opportunities if you qualify. They do have opportunities available for guaranteed loans if you qualify. So far, Foster has been, one of the things was asked right away in both meetings about the bond rating. Foster does not have a bond rating. Pay everything out of pocket or however it's made. Also, it would start a countdown clock as far as if Foster's eligible. Right now, the town of Foster does not meet any ADA requirements whatsoever. And they have been reluctant to upgrade their facilities to meet ADA requirements. Foster does not apply or does not meet the requirements to get loans or grants from the federal government. It doesn't say that we're not eligible for it, but it would start a countdown clock per se. Whatever that countdown clock was, I believe it was 3 years. So 3 years, start to finish, and again, the paperwork have to be done. There's a fact sheet here. I talked to Mr. Mars just a little bit ago, and because of holidays and schedules and whatnot, we're finally able to schedule a meeting next Wednesday. And she said again, she's like, I can repeat the same exact thing, that this town of Foster is not eligible. But she's willing to meet with us, to discuss it. She was happy that we moved along. And again, USDA wants to work with municipalities like this. That's what this program's for. But in my words, the town of Foster needs to start taking responsibilities for their own infrastructure, which in the last 20 years, I have not seen the town of Foster take responsibility for their infrastructure.
So it could be, I mean, just so I understand, so regardless regardless of regionalization between Situate and Foster. It had nothing to do with this. So what probably would happen with something like this would be to bring the representative you spoke to the town council. Because what we'd be talking about is an offset in money, right? If we fix that, and that, and that, and that, at this amount of money, we can say that's on this
Yeah, and
project.
again, it's as far as eligibility, you know, again, the federal government requires taxes everything. Do we qualify for the grant? Do we qualify for the loan?
Right.
According to this, you can read it, it would qualify everywhere.
Right, again, the eligibility as far as populations, they know is
Yeah.
there.
No, but I don't see anything in here about being ADA.
One of the
You will.
One of the forums was, are
You
you
will.
She met myself, John Lewis, and Renee met in our conference room upstairs, and she laughed.
But basically, I think the bottom line is that would fall to the town council, because everything that they're gonna want done is outside of the board anyway. But the town may see it as a wise decision to make 40,000 in the townhouse, in the town hall.
Yeah,
all
we're
they
not-
need
we're
is
not
like-
that far, you know, but it's, you know, the bond rating, you know, as far as the loan, you know, they guaranteed, I believe it's a 40-year loan, it's in the form of a long-term bond.
Right.
She asked our bond rating, we don't have a bond rating. She's like, well, you need a bond rating,
Right.
you know, you need a bond rating for the, you know, the loan. And again, you know, that's why I invited, made sure Kelly was available, our the treasurer, the town planner, so we can sit down again, you know, so she can, and again, if anybody else wants to, if a member of the council wants to, or anybody else on the board, you know, she's willing to talk to us.
Let me ask you this now. Two questions. Because we going to give up the old police station, does that have to be a compliant?
Again, if it's a town building,
Is it a town building, what we're going to do with it? Is it a preservation society, whatever we give it to, is that part of us?
It's a public building, right?
No, no.
No?
Preservation. I don't know about the library.
Not the library.
it's a public building in the town of Foster.
Yeah, but what happens, so preservation society, so the public doesn't go in.
Well, a church might be a public building, and anyone's welcome to it, but I don't think that's necessarily owned by the town.
Here's my next question, we were at the, and most of the stuff. This whole joint thing with Situate. And everybody's thrown out, I've read this already. And the boom mills. If we were to join with them, the grant money, let's say the grant money, okay, does that throw in a monkey wrench now because
Then town also.
well, let's say they're all compliant with everything they have. Okay, so they qualify. Okay, so our half, if we're gonna go half with Situate, does that all of a sudden say we still don't qualify because we don't?
Yeah, I believe it would be a joint.
Yeah, it would be a big joint, sure, it would be a joint town, definitely.
So both of us would have to meet the qualifications. So we could still probably end up having to pay out of our pocket to do business with Situate while they get 75% rates.
You're also gonna create a new entity. You can't be separate. Once you join with them, you're gonna create a new entity.
Okay. So because we don't.
Like, for example, you have all small municipalities and you have a county.
I got you.
County's a separate entity.
But do we throw a monkey wrench in if we create that new entity by not, in other words, like we go get a loan,
Then that new entity's gonna have to qualify because you
I
have
was
to
saying
join
if
all
we need
kinds
a
of
good
stuff.
credit, the bank tells you no. So would we throw a monkey wrench into that new entity if we joined up with Situate?
If they were compliant and we weren't, yeah.
When did they just let them have a bond rating? How do you do that?
Total new entity.
They say,
If you're a separate business and he's a separate business, but you join together as a new joint venture, a separate entity to do something, now it's about a whole.
I think you're getting into.
Yeah, at this point, until Situate steps forward and says, we're moving forward not only with doing a police station, but we're also moving forward in the direction of finding out what it would be to regionalize. And I haven't heard that at all at this point. I'm not saying all, maybe they'll come out in a month and they'll say, this is exactly where we want to be, but at this point, that's not what this little piece of paper says.
They have consultants, and we don't have us.
Yeah.
is there a list somewhere of the ADA
repairs that have to be made.
You got them on the police station, I think, right?
It's gotta be all the buildings, is there a list somewhere of all the buildings that need to be occupied?
I get your point, would it be cheaper to fix everything?
Well,
I did do a little survey around town, trying to figure out where these big problems are. Yes, the police station.
Yeah,
But
again, you know,
we're
it's
trying to
like-
correct
We're
it.
thinking
It's not, but we're not. I mean, again, if you eliminate it, yes, you know, but we're still, to approve the money, we're gonna be in that police station until.
Whatever movie which was further. Yeah, but the point thing is if we save money or get money with grants or loans, that's what I'm saying, that I think ends up at the town council, that ends up outside.
I did try to figure
Provide
out.
that information to them.
No, definitely, but we can't decide, well, it's gonna cost 10,000 or $1, 10,000 to town, 10,000 here, and we're gonna save 100,000 over there, it makes sense. We can provide them the information, but eventually they're gonna have to say,
Town council's decision. We're just gonna give them $2 million bills and then
well,
the whole town can like, roll up and have signs all over the streets and shit.
I think that, I think what happens is we get down to the point where we give them the reasonable price that we believe the best way to go, and then the town council has to figure out how to pay for it.
You got it.
Otherwise,
Did that answer your question?
No, there is no list, is the answer to my question.
Shouldn't they? I think this would be
I can invite ADA to come in and give us actual report.
Will that trigger anything that we don't want to trigger?
probably.
No, that's, thank you.
This grant, it talks about the income eligibility, is that also like that? Do we qualify based on?
Yeah, again, that's why when Kelly's missed the last two meetings,
I'd be surprised, I mean, the 75%, they're looking at 60% of the state median household income. I thought they were actually above state median.
I said, you know,
Our average income was 81,000 in the last census.
So that'll eliminate this problem.
I disqualify us for 75%. You might be able to get somewhere along the line, somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
We should have a grant writer that, goes and look for these things. That will fall in the monitoring and stuff, so.
I still think we get to the point where we have a reasonable price, and then figure out the best way to pay
And
for it.
as resident, as citizens of the town, we can go out and.
Well, we may still be here, and they may say, hey, can you look into this and that, I don't know at this point, but right now, even if we figured out that we would save X amount of dollars here, we'll do this and this and this and this, it's outside of this board, I'm fixing those things, even though it probably is gonna make sense. Probably.
We're just speaking as residents, not politicians.
Okay. Any other questions on the rural development information?
In summary, the USDA grant may not be able to do sort of
And again, she said no the last two times we met with her. And again, the second meeting, we turned quickly to purchasing equipment for the DPW, which is falling apart.
Well, after was in the sign now.
Maybe we would time limit to get out of that building, or do something good, and actually pay.
No, but if you do not keep showing progress, I can't hold them on. I require progress every time.
Whatever survey you do is gonna be before construction, right? That's the challenge. Even if that was a Presbyterian Society, is a separate corporation in town or something, it's not controlled by the town.
Is there a separate nonprofit entity?
Completely.
They can get their own monies, their own.
Okay, all right.
whatever. They probably can get more than the town gets.
They can't.
No, that's cool, I didn't know, I wasn't aware of that. All right, well, we can move on to general board discussion on the project. I think Woody is gonna have something he's gonna fire back. He's gonna cut me with my own sword. Okay, I don't know, does anybody have any particular things to discuss that we didn't cover so far tonight?
Well, another thing is we need to discuss, I guess we have discussed we're looking at a station on town property, which is between the existing police station and town house, that area.
With the exception of a Situate Foster thing happening, it seems to make sense. We own the town property, it's centrally located.
This is information we need for the applicants.
Right,
it's-
yeah.
Again, Tom, I know has brought it up, I've brought it up, it's centrally located to the current tower. It still costs money, but we wouldn't have to construct any new towers at considerable cost.
But the architectural design is going to change with the exception of height of foundation, right? Site work.
Site work.
So definitely, the architect is going to be really taking that hand unless they're.
He's got to present the site,
Right.
the elevation.
Right.
You need to get.
Well, the property back there is fairly large, so originally we were talking about getting it close to the town hall. So one of the things that really needs to be discussed is with the building, does it make sense to place it close enough for future connection? Or does it make sense to put it in the most equitable site resource? And also the septic, can we reuse the septic?
When you get incorporated in, myself and Gordy looked at, incorporated it into the current parking lot. Utilizing that as a public parking lot for, police department, whatever was in the current police department. And then have it secured, refer back to the alley, a side parking lot, which we could incorporate into the building that is already approved for wash bay, evidence bay, evidence storage.
I believe in architect, which is big business, and show them what we want to do it, easy to come up with, and show us the best way to put it in.
Unless we say we wanted it someplace in that. I mean, we could say, hey, choose the most cost-effective place to put it, and then get somebody to dig a few holes and hit boulders, as you will.
I don't think that community will be doing that. To utilize the community from town hall, police department. That doesn't make any sense to me. We need room for the town, which is right next to the police department. If something goes crazy there, we have to go away on the channel.
And again, attaching it to the current town hall raises a lot of concerns, security concerns.
Yeah, you're right.
Building concerns, fire code issues.
The only thing was the original plan that showed that. That's all. So there's another reason that I keep bringing it up. If it's not the belief that that's how it should be, then why do it?
I came here thinking it probably should be the utilized resources we have in that building. Now, between drawing and laying out, viewing that building, I don't think it is.
Okay, so
I think it's just gonna cost us more money.
Right.
And maybe that money should be spent years down the road when the town also says, look, we need a 50 by 50 room.
We do all
We
we do.
need new council chambers.
Added to the town hall.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't part of the mission statement to connect it to the town hall, so,
We're not actually charged with getting final roads done.
no.
That's what I'm.
I mean, it seems to make sense to get that ball in motion, you
Exactly.
know, because when we are supposed to be presenting the most cost-effective plan, it's kind of tough to do, we don't have plans, right?
Just looking ahead at the calendar, today's July 7th.
Yeah.
July 21st, the chief is going to put together a draft RFP. Or just go?
No, we're going out now, he's gonna put that together, and we're gonna send it out.
Okay. So, at our next meeting, are we hoping to pick someone?
I don't think that's enough time.
I-
We advertise.
I think what's,
Are we really advertising? I mean, we're hoping it's going to be under 5,000, right? So,
I don't think that's
There's no way.
realistic.
no way.
So it's gonna be advertised and
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
all
the
of
same thing we do with all those.
So I think August 4th, as soon as we have
It doesn't have to be done at a meeting on this regular time. You
Right,
could say
yeah,
we're
we
gonna
can-
open at
that's what I
5
was
o'clock
trying
at
to
the
get
town
at.
hall on a regular day
Yeah.
or whenever you want. I mean, it doesn't have to be there.
I don't believe the next meeting we're gonna have anything for the agenda at all. So we can kind of run the ball out, see what happens in a week from now, or when we get close to posting the agenda, we can just look at it. And if we don't have any information, just cancel the next meeting.
Would you kindly send me the agenda to make sure I see it?
And this is the-
Something, I know, just for next time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, that's it. You can copy it out. So, pardon me?
I have a question.
We're gonna put this together and start advertising the meeting.
Exactly.
We're not gonna get back together, look at how it was advertised, we're just gonna get it
No.
put together and how.
What we do at the council is, usually it says, department head who knows what the subject matter is, because I can look at it for form, but I don't know the subject matter. So if the subject matter is, we need this in proper architectural detail, then the department head here can draw up what he wants, and I will look at it for form. I don't know the subject matter.
We're gonna get it drawn up, advertised, sent out, and replies back by August. So we're saying in the meantime, we have nothing to do.
Unless somebody, well, I don't see what we would have. I mean, if I would leave the meeting posted for, scheduled for now, and then a couple of days before it, just maybe some correspondence.
So
So,
what about architects that decide they want to bid on this, they want to speak to, we'll have, in the meantime, that's gonna happen. Before they can make a proposal or a bid on the spot, so we're gonna have to meet. Now, we have to meet as a complete committee.
Well, Woody, what would you can help here, what would you need to give the architect? What would you say for DPW is, we say in the bid or in the RFP proposal, we say, anything you need to look at is in the town hall between these hours, and you can come in and look, you can ask questions of the department head, etc. That's how we do the roads and bridges. They can ask questions, they can get materials, they can look at whatever, but if they want to ask questions of the board, then yes, it's going to have to be, it's going to be a quorum, or unless you want to.
I think I was an architect, buying a payload with specs of work. I think if I was an architect, with what we're gonna present, I'm gonna have a lot of questions.
I would hope they would, I would want to hire somebody who did not have a lot of questions.
I think they want to do a site review.
but I don't know where the board needs to be. I mean,
Well, I think probably what we should do is we should set up a time and say 2 weeks from tonight, that we give these architects an opportunity to meet at specified times.
Yeah, do it-
If you get
do
3
it
architects,
regularly.
we gotta set 3 time slots.
3 times, well, what we do normally in normal jobs that we go out to, when you have a walkthrough, right? So you go through, somebody comes out and they present the plan, the people then ask those questions. Some ask them quietly, so the other guys don't hear it, and others, but basically they'll say, what did you think this construction would be like? Yeah, right, so we can just do that here. The only challenge with that is, as many of them I go to, nobody shows up. Okay? So only one guy shows up, he's the guy with the questions. Now, we could, if we wanted to, is take a piece of the money, under $5,000, which we're duly authorized to do, and have a specification drawn up.
Two other architects that want.
I mean, the challenge is like, if nobody shows up, we've got nothing. We'll have one person who's gonna
As far as an
have.
RFP, instead of reinventing the wheel, I was gonna contact other departments. Cumberland's going through it right now, Lincoln, Middletown. Put it together and it suits our needs.
Right.
Smithfield.
Well, what do they start with?
Smithfield.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what do the other departments start with? Somebody had to draw something, right? Because
I just read Cumberland's RFP.
Well, we could put together some of the section. I think between a couple of us, we know enough about this that
Right.
we can spec.
I mean, you could get the original specification book from the Hopkins plan. Specification, same, that's not gonna change. I mean, maybe there are some code changes, shouldn't say that. But in general, the overall spec would be the same.
Yes, we need to give us information.
My only caution is, everybody has to be given the exact exact same thing.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want one talking to somebody
Right.
without the other knowing, you know.
That's why we do the
So it would
walkthroughs,
have to
and
be-
mandatory walkthroughs.
So now I think this committee should get back together.
Okay, so let's just bring them in on 2 weeks from
No, I
now.
think we should get back together and have some type of specs to present to them.
Okay,
Maybe sooner.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should actually do this like in the next week or so. So people start
They all have,
showing interest, here's a piece of paper, we want a full foundation.
And again, I'm sure the list would grow. We did it, with preliminary plans, we did it, by phone call. And we were looking for somebody to do us a favor. But as soon as we present an RFP, I'm sure the list of architects is going to grow that will be interested.
aren't they gonna ask, I don't know, aren't they gonna ask, where is this gonna be?
Yes.
yeah, well, that's the thing.
So unless you can say you must come and see it, because we do that, you have to come, that's part of the requirement. You have to come and view, and you have to be able to say to all of them the same information.
We're gonna need some window counts, some door counts, some things there that are not, I mean, we have some minor elevation, but we don't have them all, obviously, which, it is. But, if we tell them that it's gonna be, steel split construction, fire rate wall, that's easy, everybody can do that, that's easy to do. But we don't necessarily show how many windows in each place, and everything, so our money obviously comes in. So we kind of get that a little bit more detail with the window.
Yeah, we're gonna back, we'll mention that we want a foundation.
Right.
So we'll have to walk on.
Right.
We didn't borrow all the pictures, I suppose. We should all agree on this.
Right.
Unless we're like the architect just tell us what we need.
It should give, like, to the architect, look, this is our police station, this is what we have here. We want a nice picture, come back to what you got.
We might have an idea that is, $500,000 cheaper.
Without, you know what I mean, without telling him what we need, that's what the architect's for, he's supposed to tell us what we need. Okay, so now you're gonna get 3 architects, they're gonna look at the 6,000 square foot building, they're probably gonna ask us, or the chief, say, is this how you want the rooms, and this is where you want them? Okay, he's gonna come back with the roof designs, he's gonna come back with the front, with the little trees and the bushes, and all the pictures to show the town council and whatever, and then he can tell us, one guy might say it's $1 million, another guy might say, I think we can have it done for 600. That's all town council stuff, but where do we,
We'll tell the architects what they get designed for us.
Right. Well, they need to make the outside look right, and so, what we don't want to take a chance on is an architect that's not familiar with police stations, then we have egress windows and cells. Like that, right? That's what they are wondering, we need to.
well, that's one of the
be able to
questions that
know
whoever
right.
applies for it, or whoever, I mean, you have any, that's the question to them. That's
Sure.
what you need to ask them. If you've done this experience before, you're probably only gonna get 4 or 5 guys in Rhode Island that have done this.
You're gonna be lucky if you get 3 here on a night, that's the problem.
Well, the time
The time is short.
The time is short.
So what might make sense is if we do meet here and we throw some ideas, specs, and frankly, you're the most qualified for that anyway, so not to give you more work, but, we can look at the hot meeting plan, we have a full set on that, right? So, we've got a lot of information right on that. We don't have a spec book, though, right? I'm sure they have. But
Again,
it's a generic spec, it's always a generic spec.
Right. And again, that was 12 years ago. And,
Right.
There's some other bigger projects, again, we just downsized.
Right. Well, the spec book, it doesn't relate to any particular building typically anyway, it's a standard.
Just gives them the
Cookie
basic
cutter boilerplate
type
type
of
thing.
construction, it's sort of specific finishes, the
Right.
exterior, whatever.
No, we just send this out, somebody will come back and say, okay, those are the block, this one.
Right, right.
You base his price on it. It's not-
Yeah, no, we definitely need, there needs to be some coordination with it. So I figured when we sent it out for the request for proposals, we would have some kind of mandatory law. I don't know if we want to meet next week, and then on the 21st, invite whoever to come here.
Where would you be meeting? Is it a council meeting
We'd
here?
have to do it on-
On Thursday?
Okay.
Somebody-
We'll put our agenda in first.
Yeah, we can peel that sticker right off that shoulder. See, if we had a community, home, we'd be all set.
That's
So,
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page as to what we're expecting an architect to for whomever to provide on short notice. I mean, we're not gonna get construction drawings.
Preliminary plans.
We're looking, I mean, to me, I mean, the way it's phrased here, I think we want to get some insight, we want to get a review of the plan and before we put together. It's just a sort of a code compliance check, make sure that he has all the bathroom, the rooms are where it's at. Corridors are installed, so we don't have windows themselves. I think that's critical. I think we want to get a nice picture. You know, I think that's important. We want someone who has a rendering capability, that they can put something together. Because I think if we're going to move forward in this direction, people need to be able to visualize it. Everyone's looking at everything. The elevations are awesome, but if you put some water colors on it, you get some pictures. You need something that, you know, hypothetically you could sell, the town council could sell. That's the goal. And we need a preliminary cost estimate. That's a little more advanced than what we're getting so far.
Right.
So I mean, I think when we put that RFP together, we really need to be specific as to what we're expecting. If we're just saying RFP for an architect, that could mean anything. If I see that and it's a little vague, I'm probably not going to participate because it doesn't seem like who I'm applying to really knows what they're asking for. They look at things.
Well, it's good, if we give them a general spec, I think we can ask for preliminary plans, cross-section of roof, that kind of stuff, general
Plan section
specifications.
and a render.
Exactly. And that should be enough to get some, I mean, again, the more detailed it is, the closer your numbers going to be in the end. So,
It is, but I don't know that, like, we really need to, you know, the detail, that can change. You know, I don't think that's the best use of our money at this point. I think really, like, if we're going to pursue this, we need to have a picture.
right.
Like, it sounds silly.
No, the
but
other thing is
it's-
we got to make sure that people who are bidding the project are aware of what self-construction is and what those kinds of
Oh,
things are.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
It's just,
All right, before Ms. Ryder's arm falls off, sorry about that.
No, I just wanted to say, I kind of lost track, but if you were planning to have a meeting of this, an advertised meeting of this board, and invite architects to come in to, they are subject to being videotaped, it would have to be an open meeting. I'm not sure how comfortable they would be asking their questions.
I'm sure they all know.
Well, okay, just.
Well, if you go to Johnston or any of them, they're all videotaped. It's a little bit different than this one here, unfortunately. So, all right.
So then, are we going to wait to actually issue the RFP and get together next week and get some specifications?
I would say it makes sense, right?
Yeah, we're not putting this together.
Yeah,
We
let's-
want to give an idea what we're.
Okay, so why don't we, I mean, we can do it next week. Well, if we can get a day that works for everybody. With zoning here Wednesday next week, so, unless we did it earlier. Fine. So, sure.
we're allowed to ask questions.
Yeah, why don't we just wait one more minute until we get to the public, and I guess that's part of public discussion. Okay, so with all that in mind, we want to try to schedule something next week to present some kind of a specification for the RFP.
You sure right now? Bill's gonna write, Keith's gonna write it up, you sure right now? We don't need much.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
No?
Hold on.
To draw
Go
the-
by the agenda, it's fine.
No, we're good. Back it up another 3 weeks.
Well, no. The update from Gordon Braden sketch, discussion and action. We're discussing it to put, we already decided on an RFP, to put together a specification sheet.
That would be the action.
That's exactly, that's what I'm saying, it's no different. It's no different, I mean, in my opinion, I don't know, I mean, yield to the solicitor.
I'm listening.
I'm done.
Okay, so what do you want to do right now?
Well, we're saying we're gonna send out an RFP, now the RFP isn't necessarily gonna, by the time that we could put something together that's ready for them when they come.
I don't see any reason why we can't right now, okay? It's quality, okay, there isn't anything good on TV. So I don't see any reason why we can't
I love it.
put the specifications together right now amongst us, get it ready, we'll put it up right away. So we just eliminate another week of coming back next week to talk about it and do it that way. Let's get the specs together. I mean, it's pretty, we know what we need, we know what we want. We just gotta lay it out there so that a pro can say, hey, I want to go bid on this stuff.
I do have to put it into the agenda. And if you're talking about specifications for this, I think that we already went over that, but we could reopen that item, I guess. To do specs for what you're looking at, so you're talking.
Yes.
Well, not really specs. We're gonna put together a list of what we expect from the architect.
Based upon this. Like I said, I'll do this.
Anybody says tonight? So, all right, you want to, look at this back. You want to,
Let's wait until the conversation move back again.
it's back to you. You want to write some stuff down and we'll
I'm sure we're going to the public.
okay. All right, then what, all right, so we'll go back to our stuff at the public
And
comment.
you know what I'll also say, under D, this general board discussion, there's some case law and argument that's too general of an agenda item, but you can go ahead and do it under that too,
Hmm,
and then
yeah, I mean, the reason that that's there is because
you don't know which.
we don't have, it's not like zoning or planning, there's a specific thing that comes before you. So the meeting evolves as you go, so that's the reason that that's on there. Just like public comment, doesn't say public comment, limit to this.
Well, that, public comment is different, I'm talking about your
Right.
new business D.
No, I got you, I got
Open
you.
discussion,
Mhm.
and yes, there are times when they definitely want it to be much more specific if it can be. It needs to be as specific as it can be. Does it one public, that we are gonna talk about the project and maybe take action.
Right, well, basically, it is as specific as it should be because there was nothing else. We don't know what it is, so. So anyway, all right, so let's, we'll open public comment and then we'll go back to putting together this list, just to make it easy and pleasant for everyone. So public comment is now open. Is there anyone signed in on the sign-in sheet? No, that's fine. Just for order of business, we go with that way. That's fine. Okay, Ms. Wright.
And thank you for doing this before you go back, because I really don't want to sit here for how many.
Is something good on TV?
Yeah, no, just a little toasty. No, I just wanted to say this is the furthest anything like this has ever gotten. And I know how much work it is, but I think it is really important that you get as much concrete, be it evidence, semi-firm numbers, expertise behind you before you go to the council. Because even if you're not done, you know the naysayers are going to come out, and if there is nothing to back up what you are presenting, they're just going to poo-poo it and say, well, you don't know what you're talking about, that's your opinion. And it will go away for another 20 years.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I kind of had my hand up since halfway through the last agenda item, so I'm going back to that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
This RFP you're writing seems to be for a standalone building only.
That's correct.
Okay. Are you going to do an RFP for any of the plans that have been presented, or have you written them off?
We haven't written them off, but we have mutually agreed that this is going to be the most cost-effective way to do it, which is what we've been asked to do. So the original plan was twice that size. The Hopkinton plan is much larger than this, 300-400 square feet anyway. So it would certainly be our opinion anyway, which is a little bit not on the board anyway, that this would be the cheapest plan to begin with. So not that we could not get pricing on everything else, but I don't think it makes sense to get pricing on.
It seems that why you're not saying that you're writing it off, because you're not delving into what it costs to do those other items. You've chosen this one item to the exclusion of all else. So you're not going to give the taxpayers a choice as much as you're going at the financial town meeting, as much as you're just going to do this one item, because that's the one you've researched the most.
Well,
Speaking for myself too, I think one of the things that we talked about, the new construction, is you always had the option of siting it next to the existing building and having a connector, so that it would be sort of an extension of that on some shared services. There's some real downsides to it, in our opinion, but I mean, there was always, That was discussed, you could have a review.
Well, my answer to that is, once we zero in an architect that's gonna help us on this, and we have a guy that we like, and he's gonna do it for us, then we could say, by the way, what do you think if we do something there?
Right.
Or can we do something else? Right now, we're just throwing stuff against the
Well,
I didn't know who to ask, so once we got one guy to do that, then we can ask him what he thinks about them other ideas that we had, and he might put the brakes on what we're saying, and say, yeah, I'll put that building together with a police station for whatever.
Right. I think the bottom line is we're looking at two similarly constructed buildings. The details are the same, right? Whatever the structural walls are, structural cells, structural windows, that's all going to be seen. The same, site work is the same. If one building is larger than the other, just, that's how construction works, right? It's going to cost more. So we know that. So not to say we couldn't take the Hopkinton plan, pay an architect to redraw or buy the plans from them, get a price on it, but in reality, it's a larger building than what we need. So I'm not sure why we would do that as far as from an equitable standpoint for the town.
My question is designed to say to you, are you going to make the decision yourself about what you can bring forth that eventually gets to the financial document? But I understand you're going to the town council first.
Right.
But if you've made that decision, you're not giving the taxpayers any kind of a choice.
So what we said in what's in the mission statement and what the rules of order said, right? So when we get down to making that final decision on what direction we're going to go, the board is going to take a vote, because that's what the board was charged to do. And if Brendan thinks, you know, the original plan makes sense for 10,000 square feet, and the chief thinks Hopkinton plan makes sense, and Gordy thinks this one makes sense, whatever that vote is what we're going to present to the town council. But, and it can always get more prices. If they say, hey, you know, your vote was so sporadic, we want to get a price on this and this and this, we can do that. But the reason we were brought forth to do this, be on this committee, was to find the most equitable and efficient way to put a police station, a new police station in town. There is no doubt that two buildings of similar construction with the same finished details, the smaller building will be less money. There's no doubt. It's just,
Well, of the different plans you guys have talked about, and I've been here every meeting.
sure.
You have a standalone building, then you have a standalone building that's attached to town hall. It's the same building. It's virtually, it's going to be the same building.
Well, the connector that was drawn in the initial plans was with the elevator and the community room and everything. Now, that is a major addition to the cost of the building. And that's what the discussion was earlier, is should it even be attached to the police station at all? We thought there may be some benefit to that initially, and now it seems that that's not really the way that the board believes it should go.
One of the parameters in your mission statement is cost effective.
Yep.
You haven't decided that, or it hasn't been decided, or have you decided, and I've slipped through it, that using available space in town hall is over.
That's not part of our mission statement. Right? So the mission statement for the board is solely for a police station. There was already a plan before I even got involved that showed it connected to the town hall. So that was already kind of in play. However, I don't know how it got here or where it came from. I don't care. What I know at this point is our statement is to look at the police station. Although there could be some savings to the town in other ways by having the elevator and things done at the time or the community room, it really doesn't fit into this board. That was just already kind of drawn up. So we said, well, let's look at that and see if it makes sense. But all of that would actually be additional cost to the police station, which goes in the opposite direction
So my
of what
question-
the mission statement says.
So my question still stands. Have you written off all the other plans except for a standalone building, whether it's attached to town hall or not?
I would say we haven't written off anything at this point. We need to get pricing on something. So we're going to get pricing on the most cost-effective and efficient building, just like the mission statement says. That cost may be ridiculous, it may be reasonable, who knows? We don't know at this point until a professional puts that together. We may present it to the town hall, or this board may say, look, we don't think that's enough room, we want a bigger building, let's get a price on a Hopkinton plan now. We can do that too.
No, I follow the discussion. This eventually has to go to the taxpayers.
Absolutely.
And
Which we
are you saying we're not talking cost effectiveness? Or we're only talking cost effectiveness so far as a standalone building is?
Cost effective and efficient.
We did get a price on the addition originally, and that addition price was significantly more than new construction, right? That was
It's 9,000 square feet.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger, it was large, so we do have some information.
And the original plan was 10,000 square feet, it was $4 million or something like that.
Based on the information we had, it didn't seem like that was a cost-effective solution. I mean, I don't know that that answers your question or not, but I mean, we did discuss it. And I think, speaking only for myself, I envision the end product being a report that summarizes all of the options that we discussed, the burgeoning,
And how we arrived at it.
addition, and concluding with the recommendation, however this committee may, choose to decide on that final recommendation, with a price and a schematic price.
So the board feels it's their mandate to pick one as the best.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
It was
Exactly what the mission statement says. So that's, I mean, I didn't write the mission statement, but this is what I got my envelope when I got here. So it's our job as, we're charged with bringing the town council the best thing that they can present to the taxpayer.
The only thing I've been thinking about is the financial town meeting.
Yeah.
If you only present one plan, they don't have a choice.
Well, I think what's gonna happen is if we present 3 plans, each more expensive than the next, they're only gonna go with the cheapest plan anyway, and that's where we're going, right?
I agree, everything you're saying, I agree with. People do have a choice. These are public meetings. If they really want to weigh in, now's the time to really get in front of it too. And I thank you for coming and weighing in, and I appreciate you following up on the addition. Because that is, offhand, if you would ask me up front, that would seem like a pretty cheaply built addition.
If you guys go to this financial town meeting,
Yeah.
or the town council goes on your recommendations, they're not gonna have, the majority of the information that you people have talked about and have researched has all been on a standalone building. If you haven't researched to the same extent any other option, okay, when you stand in front of that, you're gonna be educated in the choice that you make.
Right.
And you're not gonna be educated in the rest. For
What
instance,
we did, the initial plan is attached to the town hall, and it was priced. The initial plan was, that's the $4 million
I'm not talking about that, I'm
plan.
talking about using existing space.
That's a whole nother
I asked-
discussion if you want to get into it.
Mr. Gray answered a question a long time ago, he said you had 4,800 square feet available in town hall. Later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after that, I heard the number 2,000. No, I don't know what the accurate number is,
Well-
but I know that if you have 4,800 square feet available in town hall, that's over 3.5 times what he has now.
I spent about 3 hours in the town hall, my tape measure. I was the one who came up with 2,000 square foot. And the only reason I even did that was my understanding or my interpretation, I was incorrect, that the board felt that there was a way to integrate it into town hall, even though I had agreed.
I'm not pushing
No, I get that. What I'm saying is, when the public, and I forget where it came from initially, but somebody mentioned it, it's our job to investigate that. It's our job to make sure that if you say that, hey, you think that makes sense, how do I know it's in the town hall? I didn't know, so that's why Lauren did it. I came back, I had a pretty, amateur color, full color, whatever, that I drew at lunchtime saying, hey, this is how I think things could fit. Didn't mean it was gonna fit well, and there was huge costs associated with all of it, because bringing things up to current code, relocating things that were there, it wasn't necessarily what I believed was gonna be the most cost effective. It was an answer to the public discussion, so that's why we did that. The initial large plan, that was already priced, so now what we're really down to is 2 similar plans, one is 400 square foot larger than the other. Again, we could have full sets of plans drawn on both, if we get RFPs on both, that is not an equitable investment for the town.
Okay,
Speaking
but
to
if
that
somebody
existing
asks you the
space
question-
within the building, one of the things we talked about is just because the space exists doesn't mean it can be used for what we need to use it for. If we had 20 buildings in the town, each had 100 square feet, it doesn't mean we can use that for a 2,000 square foot police station. The cost of getting to that space and reusing it in a police station capacity wasn't, in the opinion of this committee, something that was really.
And the other things are still doing for that.
So
Again, I'm not pushing one or the other.
Sure.
No, I think you're
I'm
bringing
saying,
up-
but I'm saying that the taxpayers deserve a choice.
Well, they
I think all the
have a
choices should be
choice
as educated
here.
as any other.
They do, say no, go back to
They
the
say
drawing
no,
board.
we're back.
Yeah, and they have a choice here, and whether the police station gets built or not built, it's not our job. Our job is to present this information to the town council. That's what they've asked us to do. Whether it happens or not, we don't know. Our job is to make it, because we're taxpayers also, to make sure that it's the most cost-effective way to do it. Because nobody, I don't believe anybody at this table wants something that's gonna cost twice what you need it to cost to get through. We want to get it as streamlined as possible. this is the place, the open meeting that is advertised for public to come and say, I think this, I think that. The board has made suggestions, we have looked into those. I'm sure you have made suggestions that we've looked into. So everything that was talked about from the start has been looked into. We're researching the Situate Foster thing. Will it happen? I don't know. We can't wait a year to find out that they're going to start to think about it. Now, if it progresses to that point and we're ready to present to the town council, that'll be part of the report. That Situate is adamant that they want to regionalize with us and we can share services and make some money. That'll
You
definitely be
fairly
part of
answered-
it.
you guys have fairly answered my question, thank you. I get one, can I get another one, or somebody else?
Sure, nobody else is.
Have we really sat down and decided what the specifics for this RFP are gonna be? I mean, you talked about doing it tonight.
That's our next step. We moved to public comment just in case anybody wanted to take off. So we're gonna go back and get the RFP hammered out in a couple minutes.
Okay.
I think we really need to hone in on what we're asking.
I'm sorry.
I think you're correct, we need to hone in on what we're asking.
I work probably with as many architects as anybody in the room, probably more. Yeah, I'm a little older than you and I've been doing it longer.
Okay.
My point is that if you send out an RFP to a architect, at the point that I've listened to, is that the first one's gonna say, no, I don't wanna get involved in this, it's too big. The second one's gonna say, I can write anything and get the cash for this. Okay, they're gonna want specifics. I think, honestly, if you're gonna hire an architect, and he's a professional, it's up to him. Let him do the research, and let him find out what you need. He may be the one to call HHS and say, what is required in any local police station. He may call the state police and say, what's required by Foster in this station. Let him do the research, that's what he's for.
And to some degree, yes, that's true. But they could, like you say, get to the max, and they could do mortar fill, concrete block, right? Ground fill. That's probably not what normally happens on job, and I go to them all the time, I go over for 30 years. You go to the place, they have a very weak plan, not a lot drawn on it, not a lot of information. You go to the mandatory walkthrough and you're asking questions. And the people all sit there, they find all the questions, and everybody's writing down the answers to what it is. We're going to dial it in a lot closer in a few minutes and get it so there aren't going to be a whole lot of questions left to ask. But at that point, they come, they say, hey, you didn't mention, how tall the foundation wall was. So you didn't mention something else. We'll get that dialed into that.
My point is that
mandatory walkthrough as well.
architects consider themselves artists.
Absolutely.
As for a piece of art,
Mhm.
art is a matter of opinion.
Right.
About getting paid.
Right, and they're not going to have that artistic interpretation that they like as much as they're going to be restricted to basically where we are. And then, of course, we're not going to have the Providence Public Safety Complex built in the town of Boston. Right, so, thank God I hope not. That wasn't going to be your fault, was it? Okay, so, let's hear your answer.
Bill Brown, Central Fund. Actually, a new resident in town.
Well,
Taken some interest in this. I was actually glad to see that there was some effort put towards working with Situate. I don't think they're going to work with you because they've got some pipe dream about building something with EMS. They've had their plan for a while, so I don't think they're going to work with you. But in any event, that would be probably the best thing for all the taxpayers. The only thing I can caution you, and it's funny that you just said it, I didn't want to mention this. You talked about the public safety building in Providence. That place is a freaking disaster. There's been nothing, very poorly planned and laid out.
The structural design is awesome.
What's that?
The structural design is
they got
fantastic.
somebody designed it, somebody worked on it, so we can't.
A lot of problems there. But that's actually the case in point, and it's important for this town to take note. They built that, it's a long story of why that was laid out the way it was, but they're stuck with it. For probably 75 years.
Shape of the gun from the air or something like that.
No, there was some other things too. But there's a lot of structural problems there. You're stuck with this for a long time, and that's why the conversation about the specs is important here in Boston. Maybe it's worth, I know this is a long process, and I know that building across the street is antiquated, it's been antiquated for probably 75 years in itself. But if you rush this, you're going to be stuck with this for a very long time.
Right.
Maybe there's something the IACP could give you in terms of best practices, things to look at, design issues. I don't know if I would rush this tonight. I tend to agree that I think somebody who's done these buildings before, if you have an architect that's willing to give you a proposal, you you say, I want to see your previous work. We've never built something like this, I don't even do.
Yeah, and we certainly have that option. So, and nobody's trying to, what we're trying to do is get it to a point where we can get some prices, right? Doesn't mean, nobody's looking for a shovel in the ground, because it still has to go before the town, everybody has to go.
We
all
will
that
get
kind of stuff.
construction.
So, yeah, it's going to be a preliminary plan, which will have a couple pages on it, a couple cross-section of details of the roof, I think will be important. Foundation specification, that kind of thing. And what we do have on this board, which I don't know what Providence Public Safety had, but we have chief's input on it right from the start. So we don't start with.
I don't know, I just know what the final product is and it's all.
Sure, and I've done a lot of them, and many times it's hard. What we normally hear, like every school we work in and everything, is nobody asks the people who are going to occupy the building what they wanted, what they needed. And we go through and change everything after it's done. It's never made any sense to me. But we're trying to circumvent that right from the start to make sure we at least have something going on here that makes a lot of sense.
The only other thing that I would say, and I'm gonna go do some painting with these cars, but I know that it sounds like you're trying to move the cost, control the cost on the size of the building that's coming down. Don't build something that just meets today's needs.
We've already prepared for the future. Everything is designed for a station or a police department that's about 30 to 40% larger than what it is now. So we've taken a lot of that into consideration.
When I grew up based on double population.
So double the population.
Not to double your police.
Right.
Those are awesome. For my question for you before, do you know who the architect is for the Situate public safety stuff, the Situate fire? It's just, I want to make sure.
On those,
Whomever they're.
that's basically the same thing that they did, but we did, well, that a certain couple people did to get the $4.1 million plan that you guys are saying it's too big, too costly. That was exactly, that was done that way. It was a grand delusional dream that somebody went out with and it came back. So that's why my other point, I'm going to see Kate saying that that's too big, it's too costly. Well, it don't have to be that big. Where they came from, they're online. You can get it. Situate is, because of that, it stirred up enough attention where Situate has given a serious thought of doing the joint thing. Like you
That's sort of what I was-
that kind of drove them in the direction to maybe we ought to look into this because of what that evolved to.
And if we're going to be inviting architects to provide us with proposals, I think there'd be some value in figuring who they might be working with or may consider working with. So-
Again, with architects, they're going to do exactly the direction you push them. And that's how that $4.1 million, 9,990 square foot plan came from. They were pushed in that direction. That's the same thing you got. The architects are going to do what you want them to
Sure.
do.
No, I know all too well. It's more just, if we're going to be inviting people to participate, I want to be personally, I think it's the value in trying to get people who are already working across.
And if you're going out for bid, sometimes it ain't who you think is a guy that we're going to like, as Mr. Renzi said. We're going to get a guy that we like. Well, when you put it out to bid, you can't use that, I want to get a guy that I like and I can work with. That's not, I can back it up and prove it to you.
Come on. I think that, we hope we like the guy that's a little bit, how's that sound? So, that's what public bid is, unless they're disqualified.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, they can be disqualified, they happen still, but I would say that, hopefully we would entertain, when it goes out to public bid, hopefully the architects that do this are aware that the public bid will come, and hopefully they'll have some interest. Again, was this drawn by somebody who does this kind of work, or was it?
Yeah, it was.
He does police stations? But you don't know who it is.
No, but you're gonna have to talk to Situate. I know you don't want to, but you might want to
I
ask
don't mind
Situate.
talking to him. I don't talk to him, I just don't have an answer. That's all.
It's not a job.
Okay, well, we can figure it out. I mean, the public advertising will tell them anyway, and they read them every single day. So. All right, so if there's no more public comments, then let's go back and put some stuff together. Ready to go?
Just declare which item you're under, so I know
Okay.
the record, please.
We will be on section 7B, the update from Gordon Brayton on sketch, or do you want to do one of the general board discussions? Which one is better?
I'll let you pick, but I want a motion to
Go back?
vote, to go back to one of the items.
back.
I feel more comfortable on 7B. So,
Make a motion, we go back to 7B.
okay, that's second on the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And now 7B is now open with the update from Gordon Brayton sketch, discussion and action. So what we're going to do now is put together some sort of specification to get us a little closer to what we want to do for the RFP.
I was going to talk to an architect. First thing I'm going to say is, my intent is to construct a new police station to accommodate the current police force and a reasonable future force. First thing I would say.
Okay. But haven't we already taken
I'm
on?
going what we represent the
Yeah, right, I'm just saying, but basically, we've done that. Oh, right?
That's my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Is the chief in agreement that you believe this meets the needs and future needs
Yes.
for now? I mean, not that we can't go in that direction, but he may say, well, how do I know?
As far as I see,
Right.
all of the rest, this will meet the needs for
Okay. So, we want to have a foundation.
Well, I think we need to explain to them, this building needs to be designed to fit the current location. The current historical location, should be designed historically correct.
To be consistent with the historic context.
Yes, yes. Which I wrote things, kind of how I wrote it, I need to explain.
So,
Needs to prepare a site.
well, I started with the foundation, and you went off, so I think I was,
Yeah,
I just said,
I
like you
think
do it.
what he's getting at is a good point. We need to give them what we're expecting as an end product. What we're ultimately willing to deliver.
Right.
Site respect, building with a full basement.
Yeah.
Walkout accessibility.
This is a basement plan.
Do we have any idea on the water table in there?
It's a gravel bank, it's very good water
I don't think
table,
you could find it.
Deep.
real good water table, or at least a 5-foot water table.
So basement shouldn't be an issue in meeting the historical design.
Well, I think you can match it just.
But I'm saying, if you had a wonderful water table, you've got a problem.
I think we're fine. I feel it should be a little frame, but we match it.
You mentioned the frame, steel or wood?
It could be framed out of steel, and still match the buildings.
Yeah, it's not
You can
gonna
look
be,
at it both ways.
yeah, I'm saying it's not gonna make any difference what's in the wall as far as, but I just, just for,
I think the steel will come back.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll connect. It depends on what you want to do in the basement. A lot of times when we first floor, it's basically at grade level, those composite constructions.
I think it should have historically correct siding, it doesn't tell us what kind of siding, so it's correct.
something like a ladder.
I think I'm trying to repeat some things.
Like,
Yeah.
like a composite ladder or something like that.
This is gonna be a good sheet for the,
Yeah, give somebody
I can list all the components of the police station, but again, there's a lot of building stuff that I think needs to be.
Now, material selection, I think, is systems.
Located over the line. They're gonna come back to us with all the specs of what they feel we should be using in the buildings.
Well, the vast majority of the building is gonna be fairly straightforward. For the self-construction, there's a million options for self-construction, so,
Now comes a part, how far do we want to go as far as the design, the interior design, radio, I guess, we work hand in hand with radio companies, whatnot. I would think so.
Well,
It's tough to do.
I think you really need to, we need to dialing up the interior design construction, get accurate pricing. You can't get an approval for a building at 1.5 million and then have $500,000 extras. And so the goal would be, there's enough knowledge on the board, we can get this thing so extras.
Well, that would be us accepting the architect's specifications.
Right.
And I would probably make the cell area all block. We did,
That is, that would happen.
yeah, in Nantucket, well, they have the modular cells too, but when we did in Nantucket police station, all of the cells were blocked. It's a little different than this, because this is kind of built in.
Just block and steel door.
Yeah, they kind of, they cast it in.
That's exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
Wood frame around.
Yep, so you can go back to Wood and Sally, Massachusetts.
What's that? Yeah, well, Situate had them plans too. I came from the Situate website.
I guess we should mention the other one thing to do. He said it's designed from the site. We want to turnkey this. Well, I know that's not the very good wording, but.
Yeah,
Interior design.
one more time.
We wanted, the scope that they would be from site plan to turnkey.
You mean is their final price, their final proposal? Right. And in the
It's only
interim,
important that they know what they're paying.
right, yeah, I mean, you get your preliminary plans first, changes are made, adjustments are made, this and that, before you go to construction plans. So basically, you're saying,
They need to know they're going forward.
exactly. Right. Agreed.
I would be cautious about that, you know, you don't want to sign on for anything that you might.
Like the communication part,
Right. I guess are we saying that we're going to be contracted with someone, basically see this through to construction administration, grand opening, or are we saying that we're going to do some sort of sequential proposal, or we're going to see this through, basically design development?
You can do an RFP that meets both standards, you can do an RFP that gets you to
I would personally
preliminary
recommend
plans.
to go beyond design development to what we had, to lessen the direction the town wants to go in.
We'll save some money though.
I mean, I think if we have an architect, the town chooses.
I don't want to get the architect or a builder contractor to design our radios and install our radios.
No, I agree, you're absolutely, I just don't know the
Or
word.
stop, I don't know how to word it, stop.
I don't want to pay them to do work in the basement. Those are just storage rooms, and I think the highway department can, no problem.
Right.
You put up a computer room, a server room, or armory, we can, those guys can throw walls.
We can spell that out. We still need a design.
Right,
We can spell it out in the specs. We do not want the contractor to bid on that work.
Okay, it is
Right?
and that
in my
can,
opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with
no, that makes sense, and that kind of comes down, I think where we're at now though is do we want to get the $30,000 quote from the guy to carry, whatever, more than that, right, to carry it through construction? And we want to say, we want a proposal to get us to preliminary plans that we can get budgetary numbers on, and then, and addendum to that to take it the rest of the way.
I'm thinking the council wants to know what it's costing to get this design.
That's what I'm saying. You have that number, but break it into two sections.
Right, I think we have to have a.
That way, the town council, let's say the price, we get an idea, and the price is $2 million. For whatever reason, the town council says, you know what, never gonna fly.
So you need a price from the architect on the preliminary design and the complete set.
Right, exactly. Two prices. Two prices. Or one total over two
Well,
options.
yeah, they'll usually price it in phases, they'll do design development,
That's right.
construction design, and then construction administration, which is the part where you're turning it over, so there's needed funds. They should be able to.
As long as we spell that out, so everybody knows that's the key.
We're talking building language now.
Well, it's more, we need to have a few spots where we check in and make sure that we're all still on the same page. and
Right.
The project's still going.
You don't want to commit to the whole factual lot.
Buy a building. You know.
So, at some point in time, we're gonna need to produce at least a window schedule, not a door schedule, the doors are pretty self-explanatory.
I would think we said that when we said we wanted to be historically correct and match that building. So
Right.
And, I drew 19 windows on it.
sketched in.
On the elevation, you
For a whole next
right.
So I figured 3 or 19.
Right, so, I mean, I just don't know if we should have a couple hash marks on here that just show that the meeting was on there. I mean, when and maybe they're on there and I can't see them?
No, they're on this one.
Okay.
It's easier for him to put them in and we take them out.
Yes, but you need, one architect can do 25 and one does 18, we gotta have it so we have the same amount of numbers in a roughly.
That's not gonna matter, I think it's a price.
No, I think.
Not on the drawing, no, but if we're looking to take that preliminary plan and get some numbers on it, then we may or may not have the same windows. I think to get it dialed in as close as possible right from the start, because if not, then there's confusion down the road, maybe we'll see it at 10,000 times. And I think we need to make sure we cross every T and dot every I, so we don't end up with a real mess down the road.
Usually, for what I do, it's more, a lot of times it's just a narrative for that's the first phase of the design. The architects will put together a couple of sketches, similar to what you're seeing here. And the other trades, be it mechanical, electrical, structural, it will just be a couple of paragraphs that describe the system. It's not even, it's a wood panels, 2 by 6. That's enough to price. For the next phase, the architects won't necessarily do a schedule at that point. They'll have some true elevations, they can price it out. But that really comes more as you're getting to the construction design aspect. But once you make sure the project is refine that. And a lot of that's product to value engineering process. You know, when they look at the prices, it's too high. Plus one.
Think you've got the big plan right there.
We've seen your minutes, we're impressed.
Oh, so on this year. I can forward something to you.
You want to get those all,
Being a
all
seller.
right, so is there anything else we want to add to that for now?
Do we want to add, I think we need to add a walkthrough or something kind of sort of.
Yeah, I guess, how we're gonna do it, right?
With the DPW contracts, we require them, as part of that RFP, to look physically, come out and walk through all the.
Well, I think we're
So
planning
they
that,
can't-
and that's the next
It's a
step.
requirement,
Right,
and then I would just, again, continue to keep asking that you have everyone do something together, so no one bidder gets more information on
Right.
something.
well, we do the mandatory walkthrough, there's nothing too long through, but we can bring them here on our next meeting, the 21st.
And the 21st, right, then on the 4th, they do something like that.
Right, so we could certainly do that, we have the meeting here, we can walk them across the parking lot and take a little look around, it's certainly plenty light enough at that meeting, that we can go on from there, and then we can ask, they can ask the questions as a board, we can make some decisions if they need those things, and we can go on from there.
That right there, I think if you go down, I think you did, that would make sure the interest.
To get the pricing, I think, that she does.
Would we rely on the architect to provide on the precise location of the building, or would we want to direct them?
We're gonna have to feed this information.
The architect isn't gonna know what's in the ground, so.
Well, what's got to tell you what our future findings? And
Taking in the parking lot, taking in the antenna, taking in the new building that's proposed, fit that building. So we could utilize that, and I'm already rethinking, the placement, that building hasn't even been placed. The wash bay storage building, but to incorporate that, so we could utilize it more efficiently.
What was the overall, if we move the building, now it's not attached to the town hall, so the septic system was nowhere near that point, or, I don't know.
we can still connect, we just decide how, at what point are we trying to, when we use it too much, we need regulations.
Right, we need to-
We can't add it 100 feet to the park.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I don't have any idea where it is on this. Okay, well, we can address that later too. It's not-
Yeah, I feel like it's,
Does the architect address the security communication issues? Or they consult with somebody else?
they would usually have a consultant they would work with, even if it's
I think
not.
that'd be a very expensive proposal.
Right.
Well, again, we already, based off the estimates from Cybercom, we already know just to relocate dispatch would be about close to
think that's gonna be out of that as,
It's gonna ask us questions. Has done police station before, it should be the one that's gonna probably answer to, probably knows the answers.
Right.
That stuff.
Right, and again, he was straight up, you're gonna have to get an estimate, Cybertron provided an estimate to the communication.
And that's not gonna change the design of the building per se anyway, so we can, we can work with that separately if we need to. Really need to.
And I'd like to spend a little bit of time speaking to everybody else, like the library, I see what their plans are, so there's a little break, we'll do everything, make plans.
Right.
Want to look nice, which I have, which I spoke with some presentation last night.
Well, ultimately, there's a lot of other things that.
And again, I know you brought up the barn.
And I talked to preservation over on us, one person who is. I mean, that line is ready to build everything, equipment that it uses to store it. Yes, there is some money to do the restoration on this great. Big one,
So much for nostalgia.
don't say that out loud.
You're not the, okay. So, we're good at this point with the, building the RFP off that specification, right?
Yeah, that's the.
Everybody good?
Yeah, I think you would include that. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't need much more than that, I mean, even though it's only a one pager, it really, that sketch tells me
We said
99.
we visit other police stations, and this one we felt worked for us.
Yeah, I would send that, we can't really send it.
No, I send it.
That, I think it's.
Because that's more accurate than the way,
It's starting.
so, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, this.
I kind of lost you, but you talked earlier about a problem with a special framing under a block wall room. Just make one end of the building a slab and the other end a full foundation.
Yeah, and this, and you can certainly do that, well, what I was saying, it has to be taken into
And
consideration.
the other thing was, I did a Tiffany's out in California, and they had there's a steel mesh that you can put inside the walls instead of using block. It's much lighter, stronger, and it's better prices, as a matter of fact.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how a jail cell should be constructed, but certainly we can look at that. I mean, during the evaluation, during the process, that would certainly be taken a look at. Typically, the ones that I've always done, have been blocked with steel bias. You never know. Besides, why it's a little more intense than that, never been a box. Yeah, why there's a statute. Okay, any more discussion on that? Okay. Have no future agenda items, let's say, besides working on that. Our next meeting is 21st, right? So I would say in the RFP, we're going to invite people on for the 21st for a mandatory walkthrough, if you will, and to meet with the board. We can go on site, they can answer any questions, and then the goal will be by, what we say, August 4th, they gotta be, they said,
I think someone's gonna answer, is gonna answer this RFP or whatever by the 21st.
To meet with us, we were.
yeah, if we get it on the paper, sure. Sure, they come up within a day or two, sometimes, just
Just
see.
make the decision,
Okay.
that night whether they want to be blocked.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it'll go on as a public notice,
That's
and
just
probably, there's only a week, right?
And there's nothing wrong with a phone call from anybody saying, hey, look, there's one out.
Exactly. Yeah, but they read them public notices every day.
That's just so they get their information. And then they'll come back to
Well, one of the beauties of this too is it's not during the day, so it makes it easier for people to
You
know.
put this up, so
What's that?
Yeah, no, it's all the same.
Yeah, no, I get words out, so that's the plan. The next meeting, we'll get an article, we'll invite them to the walkthrough and the fun.
What they, what,
And the following meeting, the fourth, and when we'll hope to have some numbers back from them on what the proposed. I guess we'll, okay? Nobody has anything else?